Las Vegas real estate update. Too many homes. Too many homes on the market. That's what we're going to talk about and a whole bunch more. It's going to be the update that you need if you're thinking about selling or buying, or even just want to know what's happening in the Las Vegas market. So, folks, I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor. I'm all about houses and you. So, when you're ready, remember HAU. Now you know how to sell or buy a home in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's dive in. I've got my little sidekick today. She's going to help me with the numbers and what we're going through right now. I want to let you know everything I possibly can, but I'm going to keep it quick and concise. So let's dive in. Right now, we know that rates have changed across the nation because of the Fed rate change, but that rate change was actually priced in already. So we saw a 0.25 rate change going down on the Fed interest rate, but the mortgage rates were already reflecting a downward trend. As a matter of fact, we've been at a 1-year low for mortgage rates. And the day after they changed, the rates actually started moving up just a touch. So that tells you where we're at. We have some rate changes we've been waiting for, but a very small change. The good news is 2 more changes are coming. 2 more rate changes are coming, and they're going to lower that rate. They're saying 2 more times this year. If you are a buyer or seller, I think that's good news. We are looking at an imbalanced market right now where it's very much bent to the buyers. Eventually, the rate changes, I believe, will pivot the market and at least balance the market more than it is right now, because it is truly bent to buyers. I'm going to get into how much it's bent to buyers, but also where the resistance is for those buyers that are out there looking. Now, really quickly, I'm just going to go over the median price. The median price of homes right now, if you were looking for a property in Las Vegas, Nevada, it is at $480,000. Okay, so what's happened here is that it remained the same in August as it did July. July, we finally saw that the median price came down to 480K from 485,000. That was a expected drop for a little while. And then it stayed the same in August. So, this is an interesting thing because we're not seeing as much of a drop. I'm sure as many buyers would like to see that they'd be able to get it more deals out there. But what's happening that I'm noticing is that the buyers that are buying are not buying in the lower price ranges in the numbers. The numbers of buyers where they're kind of buying the most is above 500,000 and more. So the lower price ranges, which usually have more buyers there, is like barren. They're just not, they can't afford it. They're saying, we're not going to do this. We're not going to buy right now. And so condo and townhomes, you do see that the median price is dropping there. And as I've always known, and I always say, condos are the first to go down and the last to go up when it comes to the market. Townhomes can be a little different, but they are, put in together when we look at the median price there. So that is something to take note of, that it's that bottom area that you're seeing that people are just not able to get in there with the interest rates where they have been in the prices. They are saying, no, we're not going to buy. And, usually you see investors are also buying in those lower price ranges. Those investors are not buying that much there. Now, it's not that they aren't out there looking. I promise you, I get tons of interest from investors. They are looking for a smoking deal. And so if you're selling to an investor right now, you have to know, for the most part, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a big cut off the price. So as a seller, that might not be the person that I'd be looking to sell to. Certainly not the iBuyers out there. If you want to know what an iBuyer is, well, that's those internet buyers, those people that send you those mailers all the time on your house. You don't want to deal with them. They're going to try to take your shirt, I assure you. So jumping ahead, total on market properties available is below 11,000 right now, just below 11,000 properties total available. Why this is important is because the last several years, the inventory was much lower, as low as below 5,000. So we're more than double where we have been in the last few years. Inventory was incredibly low at one point, and so we've been slowly ticking up again. And we haven't seen inventory this high since 2017. In 2017, we saw over 11,000 properties in the market. And since then, it has not gone anywhere near that. Now we are finally near that. The good news is we actually spiked up over 11,000, just a little over 11,000. And then we came back down off of that. So we're not surging. You're not seeing a buildup of inventory that would really be concerning. Now, I know for many of you buyers out there, you would love to see this market continue to get worse, but those sellers that are out there, a lot of them are not your typical desperate sellers in a time of high inventory. Sure, some of them would like to sell. A lot of them would like to have been taking part in, the highest prices that we've ever seen, and sell their property around there. But there are also a lot of stubborn sellers. Those sellers, I mean, I'm dealing with them with some of my buyers where we're offering what we think is a fair price and fair terms, and at least coming in at a number, and they are being stubborn about what they want. And you can see that even though that house is vacant, they're in no rush. They just, they're going to do what they do. Whether that's a mistake or not, that is a good question to ask. It could be a mistake for some of these sellers to be that stubborn. But if I'm a buyer, I'm looking for the seller that has to sell. Of course, you want to find the home that you want. You want to find a great home, and you should target those and go after them. But at the same time, be looking for the sellers that are ready to deal. If you can get lucky and have it all, get the home you want and the seller that's ready to deal, that's great. And keep in mind that not in every area, not with every house is going to be the same condition. I would say overall, this is happening in Las Vegas where you have inventory and you can go in there and expect to work a deal with the seller, or at least that's what you're trying to do. But some of these properties are going to be top end properties, very nice. They're going to be highly sought after. And you have to be able to recognize when that's a property that you probably shouldn't come in too low on. All right. You don't want to make it so that you're just beat out easily if it is one of the rare properties that's going to have more than one person interested in multiple offers. So you don't want to be dealing with one of those properties coming in too low on them, because you want to make sure you get the property if it's something you really like, right? Well, there are those exceptions. You got to make sure you have someone on your side that's going to help you make sure you make the right decision. So as I said, buyers, you're looking for that opportunity, and sellers, you simply need to price right and come to acceptable terms if you want to sell. You want to be reasonable. If you really got to sell, that's what you got to do right now. Now, very quickly, 1 million plus properties. I am seeing a little more movement there. We have over 1,300 of those on the market. And again, when things were really low, that it was well below that number. We are seeing that there's more of those luxury properties available. Still not a lot, very consistent in the luxury market, but a number that is moving up slowly. Now, if I'm looking for a property in the luxury market, that's music to my ears. If I'm a seller right now, I want to look at what's going under contract. Well, we've remained under 200 properties under contract. You want to be one of those under 200 properties that is going under contract and headed to a sale. Even in the luxury market, similar advice. There are some exceptions with property. If you have kind of the unicorn property that people are looking for, that you may actually get a lot of attention for, then that's maybe a different story. I think there's a lot of people out there that are wishing that the market was falling apart so that they could get in there and really get us an amazing deal. But that's just not what we're seeing right now. And what I'm seeing going ahead is probably going to be a balanced market. There are too many properties on the market right now, for the buyers that are out there. So sellers, you've got to be smart. I think I've made that clear, but we're not falling apart. So if you don't have to sell and you're a seller that wants to remain in that position, you can do that. And looking ahead, I am expecting that these rate changes by springtime will start to take effect, and that we may see more balance in the market. Unless something else happens, some new condition enters into the marketplace, this is what you can expect. So buyers, I think your time is now. And traditionally, the year end is a great time to be hopping in finding a deal. If a seller's on the market at the end of the year, a lot of times they are looking to make a deal. because I think that sellers, it's a trend that they're going to back off at the end of the year. They're not going to put their properties on the market. Sometimes they're going to take them off the market and then relist them in the spring. So you actually usually see a bit of a trend of less inventory coming on the market towards the end of the year. I hope this helps you, and I will see you on the next video. Remember, I'm Rob Howe. I'm all about houses and you. My number is in the description. It is 702-461-7175. You can give me a call anytime. I don't care how you get a hold of me. Just do it when you're ready, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great week.